Hi friends, this is exciting. In just a few days, the NAD will be hosting an End It Now Summit. End It Now is a global initiative to raise awareness and advocate for the end of violence around the world. End It Now is the most important stand the Adventist Church has ever taken regarding violence against men, women, and children. The NAD on both their Facebook and Twitter page is inviting questions from the public, and as of right now, I do not see any questions here on their Facebook or on Twitter. These posts are over 3 weeks old and still no questions. So I'm making this video so it can be easily seen. Here is my question for the NAD. Is it okay? Is it okay to abuse a child depending on their geographical location? Or to ask it another way, if violence against an innocent child is wrong in one location, can we just move the child to a different location to make the violence acceptable? For example, sometimes children are in their mother's house, or in their mother's car, or in their mother's arms. But what if the child is in the mother's womb? Is it okay to abuse the child because of its geographical location? The reason I ask this question is because the authors of the Bible consistently and unanimously described the unborn as children and made no distinction between the born and unborn. They are all living human children. Also, we Adventists believe right here that Jesus, truly God, became truly human at the moment of conception. And therefore, if he is truly human, then all of the unborn are truly human. This is a very important question because the NAD has both practiced and officially supported a pro-abortion position. Abortion is, by definition, a very violent act where the child's arms and legs are ripped off and the head is crushed like a walnut and the brains are sucked out by a vacuum. And it is a historical fact published in our own official magazines that the NAD has ended the lives of at least, a very conservative estimate, at least 15,000 children in a very violent and brutal manner. If the Adventist Church of North America is taking such a strong stand against violence to children, then can you please explain why this very same church has practiced violence against thousands of children safe in their mother's womb? I'm confused. How is it possible for my Adventist church to be both against and also for violence at the same time? How does that happen? Both the Guttmacher Institute and the CDC have published statistics that over 35% of all abortions in the NAD are on black children in their mother's womb. According to the official published statistics, the NAD has murdered more black Americans than the KKK ever. That is a historical fact, and I cover that in another video. If the NAD is so concerned about racism and violence, then why has the NAD violently murdered so many black children? Is violence against black children more acceptable than white children? Daniel Jackson is the president of the NAD, and he said here that we are people of the book.
You see, as Seventh-day Adventists, we have been known as the people of the book. The people of the book. Now we need to open the book again and begin to study it again for ourselves to know what it says.
Since Adventists in the NAD are people of the book, and because they publicly state here that the Bible is authoritative, will Dan Jackson or the NAD answer the following question? Where is the scriptural evidence for the authority to commit the act of violently taking the life of an unborn child? Daniel Jackson said here that we are people of the book, so I am waiting for him to give an answer from the book. I just want the Bible verses that grant the authority to the Adventist Church to take the lives of unborn human beings. Our own published guidelines on abortion do not provide the authority. Please, NAD, Adventist Church, GC, someone, please kindly open the Bible and cite from the Bible the scriptural authority. This is a very simple question with a very simple answer. Just cite the book, chapter, and verse that give us Adventists the authority for violence. In over 45 years, not one leader, not one president, not one scholar, not one theologian has ever been able to answer this question. I have personally written over 400 letters to top leaders in the NAD and GC asking this question, but I still have not received an answer. Since you are publicly inviting questions about violence, I'm asking it again. End It Now has also produced a presentation on bullying, which defines bullying as aggressive behavior directed towards a less powerful person or group that is intended to cause harm, distress, or fear. I really can't make this stuff up. It's right here on their own website in their own words. By definition, the Adventist church leadership admits to being a violent bully because ripping off the limbs and ripping the spine out of an unborn child is aggressive behavior by the Adventist church towards a less powerful person or group that is intended to cause harm. But the Adventist church is worse than a bully because they do not intend to cause harm. Oh no, they don't. They intend to cause death. Adventists have spoken out and condemned child molestation, but the difference between child molesters and abortion is that pedophiles let their victims live, while an abortionist never lets their victim live. Can someone please explain why leaders in the Adventist church are worse than pedophiles? They openly condemn molestation, but allow for violent murder. Why are leaders in the Adventist church promoting and practicing something worse than child molestation? The NAD is loudly calling for the equality of women in the right to be ordained. Gianna Jessen survived a failed abortion, and she has a question for the NAD.
If abortion is about women's rights, then what were mine?
If women have rights, then what were Gianna's? Can the NAD please explain why women have the right to be ordained, but they don't have the right to live? The man who tried to murder Gianna Jessen was Dr. Edward Allred, a notorious abortionist who boasted of murdering more than 250,000 unborn children. Can someone at the NAD please explain why? Why La Sierra University honors Allred as the example for Adventist youth? Can the NAD please explain why Loma Linda named Dr. Allred their distinguished ambassador? Why does the NAD honor the murderer but despise the victim? Can someone in the NAD please explain why Gianna Jessen should join a church who openly honors and celebrates the man who tried to violently murder her? President Dan Jackson said this.
Because when a woman or a child has been subjected to abuse by another person, the covenant of trust has been broken. Or a child has been subjected to abuse by another person, the covenant of trust has been broken.
The North American Adventist Church has supported and practiced the violent abuse of thousands of children. How can these people be trusted? By his own words, in his own words, the covenant of trust has been broken, not just once, but thousands of times. The Adventist Church says that to bully is hurting on purpose. On purpose, another person who cannot defend themselves. Again, we are in some type of twilight zone. The violent murder of an unborn human does not happen by accident. It happens on purpose, and unborn children cannot defend themselves. Again, the leaders in the Adventist Church, in their own words, condemn themselves as violent bullies. It is literally written right there in their own words. Question: can someone with a spine at the NAD please explain why being a violent bully to children who cannot fight back is okay? The NAD did not violently dismember thousands of children anonymously. Oh no, they did not. They did it under the stated mission, the healing ministry of Jesus. This abortionist here said that she likes to go for the spine after she rips off the limbs. Question: can someone at the NAD please explain how ripping someone's spine out of their back is healing? Can someone at the NAD please open the Bible and show where Jesus' healing ministry included ripping off the limbs and crushing the skulls of children? If you think about it, abortion requires using surgical pliers to rip out the vagina of a preborn girl and ripping off the penis and testicles of a preborn boy, and without anesthetic. Can someone at the NAD please explain why Jesus hates children so much that he wants to rip off their genitals and violently murder them? Can someone at the NAD please explain why God loved the world so much that he sent his only begotten violent bully? Why is it good news that the violent bully is coming back again? Can someone at the NAD please explain why anyone would want to live forever with a violent bully? You publicly stated that you are against violence to children. You publicly invited questions. If you could give public answers to these very legitimate, reasonable, and valid questions, that would be great. Thank you.